Hello everyone once again and welcome back to PAX and Recreation. And today we are continuing our wild voyage through Eldraine and we're going to crack a collector booster box for Wilds of Eldraine. Treat yourself like royalty, and you might as well because these things are very expensive. So you already know what this thing is about. We are still in the 30th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. Let's see if I can open this with gloves, because I still refuse to bring a knife. You know what? This is a knife. There you go. See? Stop suffering. Now, if you don't know, collector boosters are very expensive, and they are basically a way of cheating your numbers in the gacha machine. So the gacha machine, that is Magic the Gathering, has these boosters where basically like every card that you get is foil or has a special treatment. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get the best cards, but it does guarantee that the ones that you're getting have the best treatment possible, right? And they are the ones that have like the best type of wrapper that there is, because these are the valuable cards, right? So we can't just have them lying around. So a food token. Oh, I do it backwards now. Yep, it's the same treatment as Phyrexia. All will be one. So technically, you're supposed to open this backwards like this. Rainful Reindeer, sorry. Beanstalk Worm. So, and you can do this way. I did it for Phyrexia. Merfolk Coralsmith. See, everything is foil. If you're new to this, then that's the explanation. And that will work. But let's be honest here. You may get impatient, and it's good. I like it. It's more dramatic. Maybe like this. Okay, it's more dramatic, but it's also more annoying. So I wouldn't blame you if you are like, can you please just move your ass? Mountain, and now the heavy hitters start, right? So Griffin Airy from the Enchanting Tales subset. Let's put them like above, and then we can Garruk's Uprising in foil. As a battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Because you control have trample, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you control draw a card. Just move this around because those cards, I know that's not very elegant, but Cruel Somnophage. Can't Wake Up. Adventure. Target player makes 4 cards, and its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures on all graveyards. Sleep Curse Fairy in wide, or in full art, I don't know, whatever you call it. Restless Cottage. A dual land that can become an aggressive candy house. So there is that. Prismatic Omen. Prismatic Omen, lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. Very useful for multicolor decks. And Scalding Viper with a very nice border and treatment. Nice. And a rat, by the way. There is also a food token. So let's do it the normal way, because I don't know, I can feel you screaming at the screen, because if I keep doing it like this, plus it's harder. So I guess we're going to get the bombs first, and then I just rush through the commons, which defeats the purpose. But hey, Nightmare, nice. Godric, Cloaked Reveler. Human Novel, wide art, foil. Intruder Alarm. For 2 and 1 white, creatures don't untap during their controller's untap step. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all creatures. Blue. Mosswood Dread Knight. Very nice looking card. Actually, great looking card. Dread Whispers. Ta-da-da. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. And Trample, when it dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. So you can adventure twice. Lonecrafter Fawn, the infamous card with the weird art that doesn't make sense with the flavor text, even though you don't have the flavor text in this version. Regal Bonicorn. Regal Bonicorn power and toughness are each equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. Utopia Sprawl. Season of Growth. A amazing looking swamp. And now Red Tooth Vanguard. Gingerbread Hunter. This art is just scary. Tough Cookie. I mean, if you are a cookie, it's scary. Slumbering Keepguard. Kindled Heroism. Snare Master Sprite. Hollow Scavenger. Continuing. See, it's faster, it's less dramatic because you don't like turn every card and go like, let's see what's there. But it spoils like the boosters so fast. Treasure and Food. Blind Obedience is a, well, it's not really anime style. And it's a nice looking foil type. From the Tails. Has Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay 1 white or 1 black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. Artifacts and creatures your opponent controls enter the battlefield tapped. As foretold in anime style, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on As Foretold. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell you cast with mana value X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. Then this is blue. Cruel Subterfuge again. Feral Encounter with the Mean Wolf. Oh my god, so much text. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may exile a creature card from among them, put the rest on the bottom of your library on a random order. You may cast the exile cards this turn. At the beginning of your next combat phase this turn, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature you don't control. Meh. Too much text for that. Ooh, Beseech the Mirror. Or Beseech the Mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall in foil. For 1 and 3 black is a sorcery that says Bargain. You may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast this spell. Search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. If this spell was Bargain, you may cast that exile card without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 4 or less. Put the exile card into your hand if it wasn't cast this way. Not bad. Knightly Valor. Enchanted creature. It gets create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, and enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and vigilance. Raid Bombardment. Great looking island. Twisted Felty. Corvold and the Noble Thief. Succumb to the Cold. Knowing Crescendo. Savior of the Sleeping. Candy Grapple. And Ratcatcher Trainee. Next. Food token. Mouse. Oh, it's a blind mouse. Nice. Fiery Emancipation. If a source, 3 and 3 red. If a source you control will deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to a permanent or player instead. Okay. Unnatural Growth. At the beginning of each combat, double the power of toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn. Yikes. Virtue of Persistence. 5 and 2 black. It's an enchantment, but it has an adventure. Target creature gets -3/-3 until the end of turn. You gain 2 life. And the card says, at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Oh, okay. Yikes. It's not cheap or anything, but still yikes. Corvold, Gleeful Glutton. Interesting. And it's from the commander decks, even though there is no commander deck that fits this card because one is green white and the other is blue black. So this card is nowhere. Legendary creature Dragon Noble. This spell costs one less to cast for each card type among permanents you have sacrificed this turn. Flying Trample Haste. Whenever Corvold deals combat damage to a player, put X +1/+1 counters on Corvold and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanent types among cards in your graveyard. Okay. Actually, this set doesn't have that many multicolor. Sentinel of Lost Lore. When Sentinel of Lost Lore enters the battlefield, choose one or more. This card is actually kind of good. Return target card you own in exile that has an adventure to your hand. Put target card you don't own in exile that has an adventure on the bottom of its own library, or exile target player's graveyard, which is great to clean those pesky graveyard decks. Compulsion in foil. This set also has a type of card called Confetti Foil, but I never seen one, so I will have a tough time recognizing it. A Mountain. Johan, Apprentice Sorcerer. Imodane's Recruiter. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. Not a bad card. Kind of an interesting card to make a commander. Not great, but Fellow Horseman, Edgewall Pack, Kellan Slide Blades, and Candy Trail. Food, Night. Farside Ritual. For 2 and 2 blue, Bargain. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. If this spell was Bargain, look at the top 8 cards of your library instead. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Phyrexian on Life, which is not bad, not good. It's kind of there. Restless Bivouac. I was about to read Boba, but Restless Bivouac enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it. It's a land, by the way. You can tap it, and it gets you 1 red or 1 white. If you can pay 1 red, 1 white, it becomes a 2/2 red and white Ox creature until the end of turn. It's still a land. Whenever Restless attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Not bad. It's the same as the enchanted Candy House. Unfinished Business from the commander decks. Not a bad card at all. For 3 and 2 white, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then return up to 2 target aura and or equipment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. Extraordinary Journey. When it enters the battlefield, exile X target creatures. For each of those cards, its owner may play it for as long as it remains exiled. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures enters the battlefield, if 1 or more of them enters from exile or was cast from exile, you draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Then Spreading Seas, twice, because this way you can compare foil and non-foil. An amazing looking island. Ashiok's Reaper, Boundary Lance Ranger, Dutiful Griffin, Water Wings, Skybeast Tracker, Obira's Attendants, and Living Lectern. Next. Food token, human token. Mosswood Dread Knight. Amazing looking card, I love it. Necropotence. For 3 black, the nice looking card that says skip your draw step. Whenever is an enchantment. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library face down, put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. Oh, actually, sorry, this is a Decadent Dragon. Has Expensive Taste, which exiles 2 cards from your opponent's library face down, and it basically, whenever it attacks, it creates a token. So it's basically Smog, but fancier, I guess. Court of Vantress from the commander decks. For 2 and 2 blue, Whenever he enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose up to one other target enchantment or artifact. If you are the monarch, you may create a token that's a copy of it. If you are not the monarch, you may have Court of Antris become a copy of it, except it has this ability. Very good. Pollen Shield Hair, also very good for +1/+1 decks. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1, but if you use it as a sorcery, target creature you control gains Vigilance and gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Intangible Virtue in Foilo. Foilo. Ground Seal. Nice looking planes, even though, to be honest, looks more like a Phyrexian planes or something because it's kind of dark, but okay. Archive Dragon. Stone Splitter Bolt. Picnic Ruiner. Moment of Valor. Spider Food. Does whatever a spider can. Harried Spearguard. And Redtooth Genealogist. So my OCD is triggering very bad. So technical difficulties, please stand by. Okay, next. We're halfway there. Food token, bird token. Defense of the Heart. 3 and 1 green. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards, put those cards into the battlefield, and shuffle. Not bad. I feel that most crazy enchantments in Enchanting Tales are green. Waste Not. 1/1 black. Whenever an opponent discards a creature card, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Whenever an opponent discards a land, add 2 black mana. Whenever an opponent discards a non-creature non-land card, draw a card. Ooh, Ashiok Wicked Manipulator. Nice. And nice style as well. Legendary Planeswalker Ashiok. In white art for 3 and 2 black, it comes with 5 loyalty and say, if you will pay life while your library has at least that many cards in it, exile that many cards from the top of your library instead. +1. Look at the top 2 cards of your library, exile one of them and put the other into your hand. -2. Create 2 1/1 black nightmare creature tokens with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if a card was put into exile this turn, put the +1/+1 counter on this turn. And the -7, the ultimate says, target player exiles the top X cards of their library, where X is the total mana value of cards you own in exile. Okay, not bad. No, I don't know if I will marry this card, but still. Ooh, Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. You actually want the cauldron itself, not so much Agatha, but whatever. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. So no free stuff, which is a shame. 4 1 red 1 green. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and haste until the end of turn. So it doesn't have any mechanism to power her up, but if you power her up, then everything gets cheaper. But she doesn't have any mechanism for that. She has mechanisms for everyone else. The End. So this is like the White Album or something. Or sorry, Abbey Road. 2 and 2 black. This spell costs 2 less to cast if your life total is 5 or less. So it's just 2 black. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Search its controller graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that permanent and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card exiled from their hand this way. Yeah, but it says creature or planeswalker. This card is just really for any format that is not commander, really. If it said any card, you could just mess up so many people in terms of lands, you could just dry them. But I guess that will be too good. Ground Seal in foil. Compulsion. Nice looking forest. Splashy Spellcaster. Embereth Veteran. Edgewall Inn. Enter taps, choose a color, It gives you 1 mana of the chosen color, which is not bad. You 3, tap it and sacrifice it. Return target card that has an adventure from your graveyard to your hand. That's actually very good. Rat Out, Charmed Clothier, Scarecrow Guide, Grand Ball Guest. Funny enough, this set doesn't have many multicolor cards. Neither does it have many artifacts. And still, people are saying that this set is one of the best from the recent years. So what this teaches you is that what people really want is like fun cards and fun sets, and not so much like emphasis on commander. You still have great commander cards in here, but it's not the main focus. So Agatha again, but in foil. This set is just like a good set overall, period. Grave Pact, 1 and 3 black. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. Great for zombies. Elusive Otter. Nice. Prowess creatures with power less than Elusive Otter power can block it. And if you pay X and 1 green, it goes into adventure that says distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Lord Skitter's Blessing enters the battlefield. Create a Wicked Roll token and attach to target creature you control. At the beginning of your draw step, if you control an enchanted creature, you lose 1 life and draw an additional card. There you go, Agatha's Soul Cauldron. See, remember when I said like you want the cauldron, not Agatha? The reason for it is that Agatha may be a good planeswalker. Actually, we got both in the same booster. That's flavor, but she's okay. But you need to make her stronger through some means or something. But the cauldron is what you want, and why is that? Because it says you may spend mana as though if it were mana of any color to activate abilities of creatures you control. Just that right there for 2, that's great because it just unblocks you at so many levels in Commander. Creatures, even more if you're playing a multicolor deck. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And why do you exile things? Because if you tap it, you can exile a card from a graveyard. When a creature card is exiled this way, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So this is basically a very good card in Commander, and this, if you play your cards well, this will make any deck you play pretty much a sliver deck, right? So it's like slivers with extra steps, but imagine the possibilities, and it just fits any deck. That's why it's more expensive than any other card, because it's an artifact. It's just great card overall. Dragon Mantle, amazing looking art right there. Looks like the cover from Dragon Age 2, but I digress. Intangible Virtue, nice looking swamp. Ash, Party Crasher. Human Peasant, Celebration. Whenever Ash Party Crasher attacks, if 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Not bad for a commander, not great. Twisted Sewer Witch, Fairy Dream Thief, Frostbreach Guard, Barrow Naughty, and Break the Spell. There's one more actually, and Bespoke Battle Guard. 4 to go. Food token, Fairy token, Werefox Bodyguard in white art. Nice looking card right here. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 other target non-fox creature until Werefox Bodyguard leaves the battlefield. And for 1 and 1 white, sacrifice Werefox Bodyguard, you gain 2 life. Copy Enchantment. Pretty self-explanatory. I guess you may have Copy Enchantment enter the battlefield as a copy of an enchantment of the battlefield. Not that original. Bramble Familiar. Elemental Raccoon. For 1 and 1 green, it has tap, green mana. 1 and 1 green mana and tap, discard a card, return it to its owner hand. And you can cast it as an adventure. Mill 7 cards, then put a creature enchantment or land card from among the mill cards onto the battlefield. So this is not bad because you can, and this is why the adventure is so expensive, because you mill stuff. This is good for a green black deck. You mill stuff, pick exactly what you want to go into the battlefield. So that's nice. You're going to put a land, so like you will always get something, and you can just cast it as a creature, and then you can use its ability to give it back to your hand, so you can cast it as a sorcery again. So not bad for late game. Not that bad. Songbird's Blessing from the commander decks. Amazing looking art. Looks like a old painting or something. Enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, reveal cards from the top of the library to reveal an aura card. When I put that card to the battlefield, you may put a card into the battlefield. If you don't, put it to your hand. Put the rest in the bottom and the library in random order, which is great. Hilda's Crown of Winter in foil. For 1 and you pay 1 and tap it. Tap target creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate during your turn. And for 3, you sacrifice Hilda's Crown of Winter. Draw a card for each tap creature your opponents control. Stab Wound in foil. Very nice looking foil, I have to say. The card is okay. The art and the foil just got me there for a second. Dragon Mantle. I love this island art. Like, even though it's not really an island, it's more like water, but whatever. The Princess Takes Flight. Rapunzel, pretty much. The Witch's Vanity. Mirror, mirror. On the wall, Greta, Sweet Tooth Scorch. So, not very original, little wizards. Hansel and Greta. Ice Out. Baby. Ice Out, Baby. Archon's Glory. Ferocious Werefox. And the Luna's Gatekeeper. 3 to go. Food token, treasure token, Thunderous Debut, very good card. Late game green, but still very good card. Dawn of Hope. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card. 3 and 1 white, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Restless Vinestalk. Land. It enters the battlefield tapped. And it's one of those lands that transforms into something. If you pay 3, 1 green, 1 blue, until the end of turn, it becomes a 5/5 green and blue plant creature with trample, still a land. Whenever it attacks, up to 1 other target creature has base power and toughness 3/3 until the end of the turn. Rotisserie Elemental, which is a very funny name for this card. Talion's Messenger. Whenever you attack with one or more fairies, draw a card and discard the card. And when you discard the card this way, you put the +1/+1. So this is great for tribal or typal. Impact Tremors in foil. Knightly Valor. Plains. I think the Plains are my least favorite one because it doesn't really give me foils. It gives me more like swamp vibes, to be honest. Frolicking Familiar. I love the fact that there are multiple familiars. The familiar cycle. Monster Rage. Soul Guided Lantern. Unassuming Sage. Protective Parents. Torch the Tower. Sweet Tooth Witch. And second to last. Food token and a Nightmare token. Nice. It's going to be very good for Ashiok. Lord Skeeter, Sewer King. Ideal commander for rats. Leyline of Lightning. If it is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay 1. If you do, Leyline of Lightning deals 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Okay. I don't know how to feel about these cards because it really feels like in Commander, technically you can mulligan as much as you want. Well, it depends on your group, technically, because it's house rules, it's like Monopoly, right? No one seems to agree in a way of doing mulligans universally, but a lot of people just do that's cheating to me. If you need to mulligan your deck more than once for it to kick off, then your deck is not well constructed. Sorry, buddy. It's like that people that do oh, the deck is 97 something cards and then the 3 that you want, and it's like, oh, just mulligan until you get the initial cards in your hand. It's like, well, then that's not the commander deck. Just stop fooling yourself. The magic of it is like you have 100 cards and somehow they work all together so that you always play like strategies that kind of work with your commander. If you need to mulligan to get the starting hand and otherwise your deck doesn't work, then it's not well constructed. Sorry. Virtue of Loyalty, not bad card at all. Lich Knight's Conquest, sacrifice a number of artifacts, enchantments, or tokens, return the many creature cards from the graveyard to the battlefield. Scalding Viper in foil. Grasp of Fate. I really hope this will be a playmat or something because this is great. In foil. Stab Wound again, but this time in normal. Mountains. Looks like something from The Hobbit where the goblins are like hiding. Tattered Ratter, because Collector's Vault, which is the name of my basement pretty much. Bitter Chill, Rowan's Grim Search, Hopeless Nightmare, Merry Bards, and Leaping Ambush. Nice art, man. Look at that. Like, sometimes we ignore them because they're commons, but like, look at the art. Like these Vincent Christians. Vincent Christians really like, come on, he outdid himself. I don't know if when you do the art for a Magic card, last one by the way, I don't know if when you do art for Magic cards, they will tell you what the card does. I don't think so. And obviously they'll tell you the rarity of the card. So sometimes you just get like this crazy good art in like commons and uncommons. Obviously Wizards gives like better artists, or the artists that they esteem the most, the better cards, so that there is a relation there. But sometimes things like that just happen. I just like that art. Mana Flare in foil. For 2 and 1 red is an enchantment that says whenever a player taps a land for mana, the player has 1 mana of any type that land produced. So this is an everyone speeds up card, because there's a player, it doesn't say you. So everything gives you +2. No one is going to want to destroy this card, I can tell you that for sure. Omniscience in anime style, manga style. For 7 and 3 blue, you may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Yes! But it makes sense with that price. Still, Horned Lockwell. Nice. For 4 and 2 blue, flash where 2 Horned Lockwell enters the battlefield tap unless it's your turn. Has Lagoon Breach. For 1 and 1 blue, the owner of target attacking creature you don't control puts it on the top or bottom of the library. Spellbook Vendor. Vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, create a sorcerer roll attached to that creature you control. And Lich King's Conquest. And the final one is, well, Griffin's Airy, and then Utopia Sprawl. Then, this is the problem with opening this way, the booster, is that now there's no excitement for the last booster. Just Red Riding Hood, Taken by Nightmares, Gadwig's First Duel, Verdant Outrider, Twinkle Guide, Feed the Cauldron, and Warehouse Tabby, which is a card that actually lives in my nightmares, even more in foil, where all eyes of the rats just shine. Okay, so that was the box. Now, in true Packs and Recreation fashion, we need to pick the best one, or the best looking one, from each color. So for white, this art is just out there, my boy. Yeah, there are more flashy ones, but this one is just art. I mean, look at this. It's just art. I guess we can do the same for the Enchanting Tales. These are, well, it's going to be the heart, sorry. But this one is also great. Like, all the art in these cards is very good. That's the whole point, right? But it just gives you more enchantment ammunition. This one is very good. This one is very good as well. Overall, there is amazing art in all these cards. That's not always the case in every set, let's be honest. Well, I like this one, but it's going to be this one. I like the whole perspective, and in foil it just comes alive because it's eyes and it reflects and all that. Now for blue enchanting tales, I like this thing a lot in foil. I don't like this much, but this anime one, Omniscience, I like it. So Omniscience, I guess. For red enchanting tales, the Dragon Age card is my favorite. It's just great. Like literally, that's the cover for Dragon Age. You can make that up. I think it's Inquisition or it's for Dragon Age 2. I think it's Inquisition because Dragon Age 2 is just the dude walking at you in the cover. You don't want to be like Dragon Age Inquisition. I really like the Scalding Viper. It just hits. It just slaps, man. Now for black, the one with the cat, that's is going to live in my head rent free. That's for sure. Because there's a story that I commented on in another video. Ashok is kind of there, I guess, but I'm going to go with the cat. Why? And there's a thing. I commented this in another video, but this card tells a story just by looking at the art. It calls Warehouse Tabby, and it says just look at the art. The cat is there looking at you with a rat just dead with blood and all that, which is funny because I don't remember seeing much blood in Magic cards, but okay. And maybe it's just me not remembering right now, but interesting. And you're like, oh man, poor rat, right? Like poor thing. And the description says, for every rat she kills, 10 more take its place. So that's like, okay, it's a never-ending journey. But then you see the red eyes in the background. And it's like, is the face on the cat determination or fear? Like, I don't know. Depends on how much you like cats and rats, I guess. Take a side. Utopia Sprawl, Ground Seal. Defense of the Heart is one that I think is the best looking one. Yeah. By the way, in black, it will be. Well, Stab Wound in foil just got me for a second, but Necropotence is right in the spot. Now for green, I really like this card. And I think that likely is going to be the face card. Oh, well, no, sorry. There is a Mosswood Red Knight in foils somewhere here, if I recall correctly. There you go. So I just like this card a lot. And with the Eldraine border and everything. It's just great. Now for multicolor, the dragon is interesting, I guess. The art is kind of there. I don't know. Let's go with Neva. I just like how it looks. Now for lands, it's tricky because the lands look great and the special lands also look great. I'm just missing the foil. Maybe I'm just going with Enchanted Candy House or Cookie House or Ginger House or Gingerbread House or whatever. And for tokens, actually, I think it's either going to be the Lantern or the Crown. Let's go with the Crown, but the Candy Trail, I like it. Let's go with the Crown. Tokens, because let's leave on the meme, it's going to be the Nightmare, because it's great. And that was the booster box. Let me know down below what you thought of it. Was it good? Was it bad? What about those pools? What about that sexy announcer for every card? I don't know. I hope you had a great time. Have a great day, night, or evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you're looking at this video. I'm just thankful. See you next time on PAX and Recreation. Bye.